Welcome to the Die Again podcast, an actual play podcast where each episode is a new chance of survival. Our host is Josiah, and I'm the player William. Join us as we play through this scenario where anything could happen.
Alright, so where we left off, you had talked to Robert Capwell. You've talked to... Did you ever get the name of the activist? I don't think you did.
No.
Yeah, so you talked to her, you didn't talk to the sheriff, and you met the gas station owner and the motel owner. So just as a list of NPCs you've met. And you met Capwell's friend that I don't have his name written down because he's not important.
Okay.
Guy B.
Okay, so...
You went to bed. You said your guy sleeps in his boxers.
Right.
At about, the clock says 3 a.m. When your eyes shoot open because you hear this huge, thunderous crashing noise coming from, I guess it would be your left and right. Looking around, you don't see anything in the dark. Nothing in the room is moving, really. What do you do?
So I hear this thunderous noise. It's both sides of my ears.
Sounds like it's kind of to the right is further than from the left. So it's quieter on the right.
Okay. Is there a digital clock that I could see?
Yeah. There's one of those bedside clocks that all the motels have. You know the one?
Okay, what time is it?
3 a.m.
Okay, I'm going back to bed.
Okay, that's fine. Not going to go get pictures?
No.
All right, you go back to bed. Do you have an alarm set? Because you were going to meet Capwell around lunch, right?
Yes.
Apparently, I need to start listening back to these episodes or writing things down better. I should have written that part down at least. But yeah. So what time are you trying to wake up?
6, so another 3 hours.
Okay. 6, you get up, you get dressed, presumably. I won't stop you if you don't want to, but other people might.
Okay, so I get up, I get dressed. I know that they said that there was no services as far as breakfast.
There's no motel service. You would have passed like a small diner.
Okay.
Very small.
Does the motel area, do they at least have like a coffee station or?
No. Nothing.
Okay. Do I run into anybody as I'm walking to the diner?
There's nobody you recognize, but walking to the diner, it's not far from the gas station, so you see what the thunderous crash was. There's a mudslide, mud and rocks, and it's covered that exit out of town. Because so the way that the town is laid out, there's basically one road that goes through it to get in and out of town, and then the other roads are like to get to parts of the mountain, but those don't go to other parts of civilization. So that part's closed off, and you can probably guess that with your luck, the other part is also closed off. So north and south exits.
Okay.
So it is cordoned off with like just some tape. But
are there any civilians also looking at it, or is nobody there?
I think there's someone who's filling up at the gas station who's probably talking to the gas station owner. Like, oh man, yeah, this sucks. But it's not a spectacle right now.
Okay.
You would guess that around 3 a.m. when it happened, the spectacle happened and all of the dialogue happened.
Right.
I love your reporter just goes back to bed like, fuck this.
Well, the people that have it closed off, is there a company like on the safety cones or anything?
It's just taped off. There's nobody there.
It's nobody there. Okay. Okay. Then I'm gonna go up to the gas pump area then, and since he's the only person around right now, and
it's the two people talking there.
Yeah, I just want to ask them like, hey, like, what happened?
So the woman who you talked to before, who owns the station, and the guy looks like a miner, probably. Miner as in works at the mine, not miner as in child.
Right.
So she's like, oh, it was rock slide last night or this morning, however you want to count it. Pretty bad, but it happens sometimes. It'll take them a few days to get some people out here to move it, but not too bad.
So I'm a reporter. Who it normally does the cleanup for this kind of thing?
She lists off a company name. Like they do all the road clearing for the state.
Okay.
And the miner next to says, If it wasn't for all this red tape bullshit, me and some of the boys would get this cleared out right quick. And she goes, yeah, I know. And you get the feeling that he said that a few times
Right.
in the process of filling up.
Okay, so then to the miner, I'm going to ask him, how much of a problem is this for your company, the mining corporation?
All right. I'm going to say you need to make a, let's call that a street talk and influence.
Okay, so then 2d6, right?
Yep.
That is 10 plus 6, so 16 total.
Well, 10 was enough. So you crit. So you'll get that, and then whatever question you ask next. So he says, not too much trouble right now, but it'll be a real problem if we get any injuries out at the mine. I mean, they can send a chopper out here, but, a chopper's only going to get 1 or 2 guys. So, if anything goes real wrong, we're fucked.
Right.
I think he probably recognizes you from last night, so he's not too inquisitive at the moment.
Right, and I was really,
You bought everyone beer.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Whether you're one thing or another, you buy people beer.
Right. I guess now then I'd want to prepare to head over to meet that. What was the name of the guy that I'm...
Capwell.
Robert Capwell. Get ready for him, because my cover story to get in at this point is to take photos of inside of the corporation.
And right now, so you've still got a few hours. So you can get breakfast. If you want to talk to anyone there, you could. The sheriff is at the diner.
Okay, well, let's go to the diner then.
Like when you go to the diner, because I assume since you were getting breakfast, you were going to go.
Right.
So you see him there. I assume you order, you order the only thing they really do, which is the eggs and bacon. And a coffee. And you can tell as soon as you get the coffee, that's Folger's instant right there.
Okay. So I start eating my food. Does the sheriff look like... How does the sheriff look right now?
He looks a little tired. Like he had a late night and an early morning. He's got a donut along with his eggs and bacon and his coffee.
Okay. Is he sitting at
the... It's just a diner bar. That's the only thing you can sit
it's just like a strip of tables, essentially, kind of side by side?
It's just... If you've been to a diner and you just have the bar and the stools, and there's no tables. There's no like individual seating anywhere.
Then I want to mosey over to where he's at.
All right, yeah, you can sit next to him. And
so I tell him, morning.
Morning, stranger. Saw you at the bar last night. Made yourself good friends with all them miners, didn't you? And he sort of chuckles and slaps you on the back. Not uncomfortably hard like some people do.
Right. Do I know if because I know he was on duty, but did he drink it all last night?
He did not, no. You, at any time, if you looked at him, he would have had water or maybe like a juice or something.
Okay. So then I look over to where the mudslide incident happened. I'm like, is that common around here?
He goes, oh, well, it's probably happened, 3 or 4 times in the 10 or so years I've lived here. They say they manage all that, but that's a lot of mountain to be managing, so things happen.
They who?
The state, park rangers, all that. Don't worry about it too much. We already called it in. They'll get some guys out here. It'll take them a while because he sort of nudges you. They're real slow bastards, but I imagine they've just got too much paperwork.
Too much bureaucracy getting in the way.
Yep, that's why I like my job. I'm the lone lawman in this town. No bureaucracy.
You don't have deputies under you?
No, I used to, but, you gotta find someone who wants the job. So it's open position, but who wants to be a deputy in a small town, huh? You're not even the top dog in a town of 200? Real shit position.
With this mudslide, I mean, is it going to disrupt much of the town?
Oh, it'll probably be bad for the gas station. No trucks coming through. If it happened at a different time, it probably would have been worse. But for the most part, I think it'll be fine. If it had happened a couple of days from now, it probably would have been worse. But everyone just got restocked 2 days ago, so.
Oh, okay.
I think we'll be just fine, and everyone around here knows to keep a little extra food just in case, aside from mudslides and stuff, if you had some bad snow, you're not going to be getting out, all that sort of stuff. So everyone's good to go.
Right.
But you're new in town, right? If you end up in a bind, you'll want to stop by the church. He always keeps some on hand for travelers.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
No problem.
What day of the week are we in on this?
I don't believe I've said before, so it is a Tuesday. So you showed up on a Monday.
Well, I appreciate the information. That's really handy, especially, in case the hotel runs out of toiletries or something. That, I guess now, is the church opened, or do they only open like on Wednesdays and Sundays, or how is that set up?
Are you asking him?
Yeah, since he gave me the information about the potentially in case I needed supplies.
Yeah, so he says, well, the church is more or less always open, If you're a little worried about it, you can go stop by the little side house there. That's where the priest stays. Father Anderson. He's a Catholic, which I don't care for myself, but the people around here seem to find him good for the soul.
So it's not a Catholic church?
It is a Catholic church. But I, myself, am not a Catholic man. I'm what you would call a Calvinist.
I'd want to finish up this conversation, again, thanking him for the information, and probably head back to my motel.
All right, make sure all your batteries are charged and all that.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to look into before you head out there? Because, you can always show up early if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to go buy stuff to ingratiate yourself again.
I want to do another search on this company. I want to search harder, search further than I ever have before.
Search smarter. Okay. Yeah, and they'd have satellite, so it's not going to be disrupted. It's just slow. So this will be another reasoning, and you don't have anything to help you with this, just reasoning.
Okay. Ooh, no, that's 5 total.
Yeah, so you're looking, but at this point in time, a lot of businesses, especially industrial ones like this, just don't have an online presence to speak of.
Right.
The web boom is, to some extent still happening, but it's a hard sell to tell a mining company that they need a web presence when they're going to be selling to refineries or owning refineries themselves.
Well, this is exactly what the guy is trying to prove,
Exactly.
He's forward thinking.
In a sense, this is useful for you, though, because you can call them a shadowy organization that doesn't even show up in web searches in your column.
Yeah, I go reporting where no one goes reporting.
Yeah, Appalachian Mountains.
So, I'm sure there's not a rule involved with this, but I want my guy to dress the part, as far as looking basically like a cameraman, So that's probably whatever I'm dressing already, but my point is like
you want to make the camera prominent kind of thing, which you kind of are, so works out. So the tie is on. Tie stays on during photography.
It's part of the suit. Okay, so I'm going to start heading towards the company then, a little early.
All right, so you've got a van. The road out there looks kind of rough. Do you want to try and take the van, or do you want to try and just hitch a ride with someone else?
I'm going to try to take the van.
All right, so I would like you to make I'm going to call it a creativity check to navigate your van effectively.
Just creativity.
Yeah, you don't have anything for driving.
Okay, that's 7 plus... So it's a 10.
10?
Yep.
Okay, that's good enough for now until road conditions get worse.
Until there's more mudslides everywhere.
But it's definitely one of those roads that at one point was graded, but just hasn't been regraded recently. So it's been a few years. So there's potholes, but you managed to navigate your van through it. And you get to one of those gates where you have to lift the thing and twist it to be able to open the gate.
Okay.
And there's a guy standing there drinking his coffee.
All right. So I roll down my window and say morning.
Morning. You're that camera guy. And he twists the thing and just sort of the gate swings open. And he goes, you'll want to, when the road forks, go to the left. Capwell will be waiting out there.
Okay. Just in case I get lost, what happens if I go right?
Oh, well, you'll just have to back out, I guess. It's just the old mine.
Okay.
which ain't worth nothing.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for the information. I keep on going.
You go and you see him close the gate behind you, go back to drinking his coffee. You drive. When you hit the fork, which is about 10 minutes or so later,
Hmm.
are you going to go left or right?
I'm going to go left.
Okay. Going left, you start to see the trees are more sparse, and then they start to be cut down as you approach. And then you see Capwell, and he waves you, flags you down. There's a few other guys, and you can see a little further ahead. They've got some machinery, and it looks like they're messing with it. It's not active right now. Got a backhoe. They've got what the hell do they call it? Pusher, the one.
You're talking about like the one that you use to shovel dirt out?
No, that's the backhoe. I'm talking about the it's kind of like a snowplow, but you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that. I swear I had the name of it. I should write those down next. I'm getting a list of things I have to actually write down. But all that machinery is there, but it's not active right now. You can tell, I'd imagine, your character's traveled enough. He's seen big mining operations. Even if just for photography purposes. This is not the amount of machinery they'll need once it really gets going. It looks like this is just the stuff to get set up with. And the mine's early days still. There's some guys with chainsaws a little further out, cutting down trees, making space. Some guys chaining stuff to pull it down, all that stuff. Not too many people active right now. You get the feeling that they may have slowed down since they're not going to be able to get heavy machinery in as soon as you might expect.
What was the name of the guy again? Maxwell?
Capwell.
Let me write that down. 'Cause clearly, I can't.
We both got a list of things we got to write down.
Okay, so then I'd say morning to Capwell, and I say, oh, I was under the impression you guys were already full send in this mine. Did you guys just transfer from the old mine?
He goes, oh no, the old mine, that was back in the 50s. That wasn't us. Some other local thing. Back when people just tried to start their own mines. But no, we're having some trouble with the equipment. I don't know too much about that. Some of the guys. I'm fucking up his accent. He had like a New York accent. Yeah, some of the guys, they're looking at it, but I don't know too much about it. You're here for pictures.
Something about those microchips.
I'm out here. I'm doing some good supervising. And he still got his arm in a cast. Some of the guys, I think they're trying to slack off just because we won't get those heavy machines in as quick. But I tell you what, we gotta get this done.
Okay. I start reaching into my van, grabbing my camera equipment, and I say, how long have you boys been, getting things started here?
Oh, we've been out here a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. It's unfortunate you hurt your arm so early.
Yeah. It's these damn mountains. Anyways. I'll get some of the boys together and we can take a picture in front of that big rock over there.
So in my head, I'm thinking, my God, I'm like going to be doing a calendar photo shoot or something. This is the feeling I'm getting. Because I thought it was going to be one guy, not a whole bunch of guys.
I think he said it was going to be, yeah.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I mean, you wanted to get onto the site, so.
Right, so this works.
Yeah. So, and he's trying to get some people together, and they're sort of like, all right, well, I guess this is a way to take a break. So you're going to take pictures. I assume you're going to take them more or less seriously.
Yeah, no.
Are you going to try and get them to reposition every so often so you get coverage of more of the area?
Yeah, I think since they have all these machines kind of laid out, I would convince them to let's take photos in front of the machines, striking your poses, and then I would want different angles of the background, quote unquote.
And right now, it looks like they've been sort of clearing the earth. There's been some digging done, but just not as much as you might expect. So I don't think you're going to have any trouble getting them to do that. But what I want you to do is make an awareness, we'll call it awareness streetwise, as you're doing this.
Okay, so awareness, so that's a +7 to what I roll. That's a 12.
12. Okay, so as you're about halfway through the photos you want to take, starting at the rock that he wanted, and then sort of moving around the machines, and you hear sort of the stomping of boots approaching, and you're cognizant enough to know that that is not the sound of someone just walking. Someone is not happy. Do you stop?
So I know that they're definitely pissed right now. No, I'm going to assume that Capwell got this all cleared. So I'm going to perceive.
So you're in the middle of taking your next picture, and
I'm like, flex some more.
You hear, what the fuck is going on? You need to be getting those goddamn machines working right goddamn now. Capwell, what the fuck? You're supposed to be at home. You're on medical leave, you fucking... It's just a tirade of insults from this man, probably the youngest man on the site, but he is dressed, you can tell he is administration. So the miners start to disperse, and Capwell is sort of muttering excuses as he walks away. And the guy turns to you and he says, "What the fuck are you doing here? This is a secure site. Get the fuck out."
But I'm taking photos.
Oh, taking photos of a secure site. Give me that. He's gonna reach for your camera. Are you gonna try and stop him?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stop him.
Let's make that fitness. You can use quick also.
So does quick just a +1 to... Wow. Okay. 3. So I rolled an 11.
I guess I should roll for him. 11. All right, let's see what he gets. All right, so you managed to keep it out of his hands long enough you can say something.
I say, well, hold it. Capwell wanted me to come here to take photos for you guys.
He starts swearing again. Goddamn Capwell. All right, I tell you what you're going to do with those photos. Is you're going to send them to me, and I'll decide what you can do with them. You try and publish those without my explicit goddamn permission, and I'll have you so far up your ass in lawsuits you won't be able to see the goddamn sun. Hey, he gives you an email address to send them to.
But emails don't support big data transfers.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
So then I say, okay, well, that's not how this really works for my side, because I need to get paid for these. This isn't charity work.
He goes, well, then Capwell can pay you if he's so goddamn certain about making photographs. It's not my goddamn problem. He says, now you get your van out of here. I'll get one of the boys to hitch it up to their truck and take it out.
Do I recognize this guy at all? Or is he completely new to me?
You did not see him at the bar last night.
Okay. Well, I say then, how about you meet me tonight and we can have a drink while I show you the photos I'm taking that will potentially help your company diversify into the new millennia of technology so you can show off your amazing talent.
Make an influence negotiation check harder than you've ever made one before.
Okay, +1 to the... Okay. Ooh, okay. Succeeded at that. That's a 16.
16. All right.
Yeah, so rolled a 4, a 6, and then the 6 for my...
So you see him take a deep breath, and you would guess he's counting to 3 internally. He says, fine. We'll meet tonight at the diner, and you can show me these photographs. Now get out!
Okay. And to get out, do I just go...
Same way you went in, numbnuts.
I don't make a left as I go the way that I came.
Says, you sure goddamn don't.
I'm gonna tell I can get along with this guy just fine.
Yeah.
What's Capwell doing?
He's getting into his truck.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my van because I don't want my lenses to get smashed in or whatever.
Don't want your lenses smashed. Don't want your van dragged through country roads.
Yeah. And I guess I'm gonna probably follow Capwell. Stay behind him. Let him lead the way out of here.
Like I said, it's the way you came in. So unless you are going to try and take that fork and check out the old mine, then...
I think not.
Okay. You tabloid investigator, you're going to skip the old mine.
I'll come back. It's just for now. I don't want my lenses broken.
You'll come back when you can just hop the fence.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to head out. You can probably, since you're sticking to Capwell, you can kind of see, it looks like the guy at the fence is sort of suppressing laughter, watching Capwell leave.
It's like the vibe is that everybody told him, "Look, stop pissing off the big guy in the suit. Just stay
Exactly.
home, recover. It's fine. You don't need to cause mayhem wherever you go."
Exactly.
Uh, okay. So as I'm heading out, I want to just, it might be an awareness role, but I want to keep note of security cameras, things of that nature.
Okay. No awareness roll. There aren't any. There's no solid structures really. There was like an RV up at the site, but that's it.
Like a place for somebody to sleep in, or what do you mean?
No, if you've been to a construction site before, they'll have something like an RV or something like that. That's where the paperwork gets handled on site.
Okay. So
So it's like a portable
um
office, basically.
it's like a transportainer that they retrofit.
Yeah,
Kind of
it's like that.
kind
Yeah.
of vibe.
So there's no solid structures, no cameras, which is why there's such a big problem with stuff getting stolen. Not that that's something you've heard about this one, but that's just like in general, that's a problem.
And for the gate that that guy unhinges, I mean, does it look like there's a lock, or is it just kind of
Not that
it's
you
there for appearance
not that you see, but obviously they could put a lock on it when they clock out.
at night? Right.
It could you could put a chain and a lock on it, but beyond that, I mean, if you're looking around the gate, I don't know how many like not nature preserves, but what do they call it? Federal nature, whatever. It's fenced off. You're not necessarily supposed to
Like
go in there.
Yellowstone National Parks.
Yes. So it's just
Yeah.
wire fence going to the left
Okay.
and right of that. So it's easy to jump.
Okay. So I keep on following Capwell out of here. Anything else happens as we head back into town?
On your way back, no. Are you gonna just follow Capwell all the way back or to like his house?
I assume this is the kind of guy that would stop at the bar right after all that.
Bar's not open this early. It's only like 12:30.
Right. I don't want to follow him back to his house, but if he like stops at the gas station or something along those lines, then I'll
It
stop
looks like he
at
turns
that.
straight for the residential.
Okay. Then I'm not going to keep on following the guy. I head back to where the mudslide happened.
Since you know it happened on both ends, which end do you want to go to?
I guess the end that I haven't seen.
Okay, so that's to the south. To the south, so you're going past the bar. It's a little bit out of town for this part. The other part was close to the gas station, but you can drive out there. Looks like it's been cordoned off.
Nothing different though.
No, not really.
Okay. So then with that, I think I'm going to head back to my motel
All right.
and I'm going to start looking through these photos.
So I'm assuming that you took them where you have an analog and a digital copy, basically.
Hmm.
So like you set up both cameras.
I think so.
I guess I could have asked at the time, but I just assume
Right.
you're doing something reasonable for a journalist. So you can check the digital right now. What are you looking for in them?
Well, I don't know. So mostly the reason why I'm here is because of the potential, like,
Ghost.
whatever weird ghost things happening.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for.
Victor Smith does not believe in the paranormal. As far as he's concerned, this is just selling the idea. So your guy may well be opening this up in Photoshop and getting ready to add a ghost in it.
Boo. No.
Graphic design is your
Okay.
passion.
Right. I guess I don't remember that detail about him not believing in it.
I think I mentioned it before we started recording last time. Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess it's sort of in your notes there. He's a grifter. But yeah, you've never encountered something that you consider to be a actual paranormal event.
Okay. I think then my character does though check just to just make sure the photos are good. So if something weird were to be on them, whether or not it's paranormal or not, he's going to look through them for whatever.
I'm just going to say it's just a straight awareness check to go through these.
That's an 11.
11. Do you want to throw some experience on that? I think, was it going to be 2 experience?
I have 4.
Let's see what it takes. 1 experience to add a dice to that. And if you add a dice, you'll succeed.
Okay. I add a dice.
Go ahead and roll it to see if you get a crit, but
4.
All right, so not a crit, but you do notice as you're zooming in, panning around the photos to try and see if there's anything going on. You notice one of the pictures you took in front of the machinery. One of the lines on the backhoe looks like it's been punctured in multiple locations. Not cut, like nobody. It wasn't like someone took something and cut it, but like something's been driven through it at multiple spots, and they're not regular sizes, so it's not the same thing multiple times.
Okay, so then I want to kind of make sure that this photos. I'm imagining that I'm using my laptop at this point. Then I'm going through the digital photos, and
Yeah.
so what I'm thinking is I want to keep this as a copy. Maybe I can show it to the guy in the suit and be like, "What's going on with your digging site here? That seems odd." But otherwise, nothing else in the photos seem weird.
Nothing else that you notice. Everything else, the Earth is disturbed, but it's a dig site.
Right. Okay. So then I guess my guy wants to spend some time editing the photos, polishing them. Like he's trying to sell this idea that he's making photos for a company. So
Roll for Comic Sans and Papyrus. All right, but yeah, let's call that just a creativity check.
okay, that's a. Do I re-roll sixes? I forgot.
No.
Okay. So then that's a 11 and so 14 total.
14. All right. You do a pretty good job with them. They look about as professional as you're going to get out of a digital camera at this point in time. And I'll say it's approaching evening now because that's kind of a pretty intensive process you've gone through there. So it's about time to meet him at the diner.
Okay. And before I head to the diner, is there, I don't know if these even existed, a place where I would develop photos for the kind of camera that I have?
Not in town.
Okay.
I mean, you can get those developed at like a Walgreens or whatever, but this town isn't big enough.
Would my guy have that kind of
Equipment?
Yeah.
It's unlikely, but we can roll for it.
Because he has a van. So I mean there is a chance that he has the space to do it.
I don't think you could really do it in a van, but you could have the equipment with you. We'll put a 1 in 6 chance here. Nah. And to some extent, that's why you keep the digital camera and do the double photo so that you have it both ways.
Okay. Do I need to get these photos printed or can I just have the laptop?
Nowhere to print it, really, that you know of.
So I really don't have a choice with that then, right?
More or less. If you want to go looking for someone who has a printer that will let you use their printer, you can, but you haven't seen one in town yet.
Right. And if they did have a printer, is it going to be good enough for photos? Probably not.
Exactly.
I don't like taking the risk of bringing my laptop with me onto this, but I don't think I got a choice. So I start heading to the diner.
All right. Yeah, I don't think anything's happening right now in town in particular. The usual amount of traffic, which is to say very little. The bar is starting to fill up again. The eco person has already been turned away and is trudging back. And so you can walk over the diner and the man you met, who you never asked the name of, is there waiting for you.
I need to ask people their name.
You do.
I feel like.
Because you didn't get the sheriff's name. Yeah. But
I'm like a ghost in the wind.
So he sees you and flags you down. It looks like he's already ordered for you.
So this is like the power suit, power tie, power steering.
Exactly. In the future, he'll have his text say, "Sent from my Toyota Tacoma."
Okay, so then I sit down and I say, you know what? I never got your name.
He puts out his hand. Rawlings. Ward Rawlings.
Okay, Rawlings. So what did you order for me?
Because the only thing they seem to serve in this, he sort of bites his tongue, establishment. You can tell that away from the mine, he's trying to not piss off people who don't work for him. And it's just, it's a chicken fried steak.
Okay. So then I say, Rawlings, here are the photos I took. More than welcome to look at them. And I bring the laptop out of my bag and boot it up, wait 5 minutes or however long it took, and start showing him the edited photos.
So is one of the edited photos the zoomed in puncture shot?
I think I will show him that one, but it'd be like the very last one.
He's sort of going through that and he's like, this is some company calendar bullshit. But he mutters it to himself. And he goes, I'm not having any of these pictures published. And then he gets to the last one and he goes, see, you've got a good eye on you at least. Apparently better than those. Then he bites his tongue again, basically. People I have fixing them.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know. A few days ago, Night before, makes a gesture. Capwell broke his arm. Both the machines gave out, and apparently that's why. Don't know what did it.
But you don't think Capwell did it?
He snorts and goes, "Oh, please, Capwell." Guy's barely smart enough to move a shovel. I already have people making sure he doesn't get close to any of the machines.
Well, Rollings, why do you still employ Capwell then?
That's because he can move a shovel when his arm isn't broken. Besides, he's not going to be employed all that much longer. Once the shovel work's done, he can go find a job someplace else.
Right. This guy is good enough for a shovel, but seems to be causing you quite a bit of headache. I'm just surprised because some guy potentially being involved in breaking machinery, inviting a camera guy to show up without your permission, it just seems like a lot of incompetence on his side getting ignored.
Have you ever tried to fire somebody in a goddamn union-run business? Try and go onto a construction site and fire somebody. See what happens. Up to your ass in lawsuits and fees. This guy will last as long as his work does, and that's a few more weeks, and then I'm going to make sure we never hire his ass again.
So you guys just started this dig site, right? I heard one of your boys saying it's only been a handful of weeks.
All right, since you're pushing past the things that he's happy to talk about, which is Capwell being incompetent and photos you took, I'm going to make you do a influence, we'll call it oratory, influence oratory.
Okay, so this is 7. So that's a 15.
And you're asking him about when they started.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a fresh site. We're getting it cleared out. Bit of a delay with the damn mudslides, but it is what it is.
Also, I heard there's a group of activists that are being loud. Do they ever bother you?
I wouldn't call it a group. It's just the one, but you run a couple of these sites, you get used to it. Nobody likes coal except when they need electricity. You'll notice they're all using that. Takes a bite of his steak to you and says, "And what about you? Some roving cameraman decides to come up in the middle of bumfuck nowhere." He gets a nasty look from the guy running the diner counter. He's just sort of shrugs it off. And why are you here?
I like to take photos of interesting things, and something just spoke to me about your dig site.
All right, I'm gonna need you to make an influence streetwise check to lie to this guy, and he's gonna roll a pose for sensing bullshit.
Okay.
Pretty good roll.
Influence and streetwise, you said?
Yeah.
How's a 17?
17. Jesus. All right, so you managed to beat him. He got 14.
Rolled a 5, a 4, and then influence and streetwise is 8.
He got a 6 and a 2. But yeah, so he goes, "I'm never going to understand that, but all right."
You know, with the new wave of the internet, I think while the information is good, there's just not enough photos to show what it really is. So yeah, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, well, you're gonna keep those photos to yourself, huh?
You don't think you could use them as a calendar photo shoot for your guys? You get a little bit extra money back into your pocket?
Do you think any of these guys own calendars?
They might if they have photos of themselves on them.
Only days these guys care about is what day is basketball on. And that's it.
But you got to think about their wives. They might care.
He just laughs. Listen, I'm going to tell you the secret of good PR for a coal mine. You know what that secret is?
What's that?
No news is good news. Anyone hears about a goddamn coal mine, they're all up in arms before you finish saying coal.
And then the activist shows up out of nowhere. Coal mine.
Did I hear someone say coal mine?
Something about fracking or whatever. So you're not interested in the photos.
Tell you what, you send me that one with the puncture holes so I can show these idiots what they need to fix. The rest of them, I don't want to see them showing up anywhere.
Okay.
It says if you want, you can go take your pictures of the old mine. I don't care about that, but I don't want to see you around ours.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. So, Rollings, I will send you this email with the photo. Do my best to stay out of your hair because I know you're a busy guy.
It was good. I'm glad somebody can understand when they should not be somewhere. You get the feeling you're on his good side, if only because you agreed with him about Capwell being a pain in the ass. Are you gonna head back to the motel?
Well, I got verbal permission to go to this mine, so I'm kind of like, okay, well,
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but you wouldn't know. So yeah,
okay. um,
I have to restrain myself from saying things. So you're gonna go tonight?
uh,
I mean, it's up to you. It's getting dark out, but you can take a flashlight if you want.
right. Well, I'm just thinking, as far as my guy's motivation, he's taking these photos as a quote unquote, paranormal investigator, but how many photos do I take before I say there's nothing here because I believe there's nothing there?
I assume your modus operandi is to take photos of things that people will think are paranormal.
And then Photoshop
And
them or
then
whatever.
you Photoshop them, or you just say, like, I was there and I felt it.
It was in my bones.
From an interview with a local concerned activist, we've heard there's a nature spirit.
Right. Okay.
You're very much a supposition and hearsay reporter.
Okay. So then, with that in mind, then I will go to the dig site, the abandoned one, and start taking photos.
And you're going to go tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Take the van, another creativity roll to avoid banging up the van. And I'll assume that in your van you have like a big flashlight to take with you.
Okay. So I rolled a 7.
7. So you're about, you would guess, about 3/4 of the way to the gate, and you hit just a deep pothole that you can't see because it's too dark, and you're not having any luck getting the van out. So you're gonna pop out of the van and try and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I grabbed that light you just talked about and look around.
I'm imagining it's like, the Rent-A-Cop one, the big torch.
Okay. Yeah.
So go around, you look at it. It looks like hitting that pothole has knocked the tire off of the wheel.
Oh.
So, you can probably
Cool.
grab like a tire iron and force it back on, but it's going to take you a while and it'll be kind of loud, which you don't really care about it being loud right now, I assume.
Will I have a way to pump the tire back up though?
It's not deflated.
Oh, okay. It's just off the rim.
Yeah.
Essentially. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try that.
Okay. While you're doing that, make an awareness check.
Okay. That's a 12.
12. You hear as you're sort of banging to get your tire back on the wheel, it sort of sounds like, I don't know if you've ever heard a centipede amplified, like when they stick the microphone really close to an insect and you hear the crawling on like concrete.
Right.
It's like that, but just a ton of it. And it seems like it's getting closer.
But it's not like I'm imagining like, when we get cicadas.
It's not like
kind of like that loud.
It's getting louder as it approaches, but like that you can tell it's approaching, but
okay.
Your character probably doesn't recognize that sound specifically, so it's kind of just like a bunch of stuff is like clicking and scraping across everything as whatever it is getting closer.
So I can't even tell that it's coming closer, but I can't tell from which way.
You can tell it is coming from the south, which is the forest. So it's not from either road direction.
Okay.
It is the direction of the old mine. Eventually, you would be going south to get to the old mine, but it's not, if you drew a line from where you are to the old mine, it's not that specifically. It's just to your south. Everyone's south, I'd imagine.
Right.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be everyone's south, but
how close am I to getting this tire situated with?
It's going, but you can either choose to try and stop making noise and get like inside the van, try and wait and see if this stops, or you can keep going and just do what you're doing now, or you can try and put a little bit of juice on it, but you're going to fatigue yourself.
Put a little bit of juice on it? Oh, you mean like put more effort?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, geez, like
put
what?
A bomb under it.
I'm going to try to hump it up and see if I can get the tire on.
So this is going to be fitness. I'll let you add quick.
Okay. Can't wait to fail this roll.
And whatever the difference is between what you get and what you need, if you get under that, you're going to take that much fatigue.
Okay. So that is a 9.
A 9. So you take 3 fatigue, but you managed to get this tire back on there. So you're immediately strained because your guy has, well, I guess because of the rules we're using.
Right.
You only have the one threshold. So
Right. So I went from immediately being dazed to stressed to strained. Like, oh, my back, my back, my back.
your back, your arm, just in general, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
But the tire's on. The sound is continuing to approach.
Okay. So I get in the van.
Okay. Are you just driving away?
I think I'm going to keep on driving towards where I want to go.
Okay.
But
So
it's just not direct, right?
you're
Because
going for the gate?
Yeah.
Okay. So this time I want you to make another creativity roll. Let me check and see if fatigue is going to affects mental tasks here. I think it does. I'm going to say it does because I think fatigue should affect you mentally. I don't know where that rule is, but
So creativity roll, you had said?
yeah. And you're at, well, I guess it's calculated as a bonus to the difficulty, so I'll just do it.
So I rolled a 11.
11. So you get to the gate, but again, you do hit something on the road, but this time one of your tires blows out. With your headlights on the gate, you can see that the gate is locked.
Okay, so I think this time I want to go out there and visually inspect the tire to find out that it is blown out. I know we didn't talk about him having it, but I would imagine he'd have a
You'll have a spare tire.
Okay, but while he goes out to investigate that, I would imagine that he would have a like a recorder on him.
You've got that. You've got the EM thing.
So I want to get a sound bite of
the full Ghost Hunter bullshittery.
Yeah, and I totally think it's all
Exactly.
bullshit, but I got to look the part. I want to record the sound since I've never heard it before.
Okay,
And I
so,
chunked the
yeah,
tire.
the tire looks like you hit some sharp rocks. It's not the same tire. It's your back left. The other one was your front right.
Okay, and how's the sound of the insect crawling?
It's approaching again. You would guess, based on distance again, that it picked up the sound of your tire blowing out.
So it sounds further away than it did before, or
About as far away as it did the first time, when it first was something you could hear.
okay. Then I'm going to get my tire iron and change out my tire.
Are you trying to do this like really quickly, or are you taking your time because you're tired?
I think one, because I'm tired, but two, because I think that whatever's following me is reacting to sound. So I don't want to make too much more than necessary.
I would like you to make a fitness streetwise check. Streetwise is a real powerhouse here. It's probably the wrong skill, but whatever.
So that is a 14.
14. All right, you get the tire off, you're putting the tire back on, and you manage to do that. You haven't seen it yet, whatever is making the noise.
Okay.
It is approaching, though.
Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and turn off my tape recorder, and I think to myself, oh, this is going to be great. People are going to eat this up. Weird, scratchy bug noises, like clearly something like the eco person's going to eat this up. Turn that off, get back in the van, and is there a way for me to get around this gate, or am I going to have to like grab?
Not in the van.
Oh, okay. Do I have bolt cutters?
I'll give you a 2 and 6 chance for that, so roll 1d6 and see if you get 1 or 2.
I got a 4.
Okay, so no bolt cutters.
I don't like my chances of trying to like jump this gate, because I feel like without the van, then I won't be able to. I mean, I'm going to have to haul so much gear with me that I don't think that's really doesn't make any sense.
I mean, jumping the gate's easy
Yeah, but
if you wanted to do that. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like it's not practical from your character's perspective to do, like to haul that all the way to the mine on foot, that's fine.
what time are we at right now?
It's around 8.
Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and I think just sleep in the van.
All right, here, the noise has not stopped approaching. It seems to not be approaching as fast as when you were banging on the tire, but it has not stopped.
So there's no way for me to get around the gate, right?
Correct.
Well, then, okay. Then I guess I would just head back to town.
So you're going to drive back.
Yeah, but not in a hurry unless I start hearing these creepy crawlers even more so.
Okay. Make an awareness check then if you're going to be listening for them to try and figure out how close they are exactly.
Straight awareness, that's an 11.
11. Do you want to spend experience on that?
Yeah. Am I doing just one or?
Just 1 point of experience for 1 dice.
Okay. So I rolled a 4, so 11, so 15.
15. So you manage to essentially speed up when it seems like you're going to cross paths with whatever it is and avoid it. But I assume that's what you would want to do.
Yeah. I mean, do I see anything?
You do not. If you're avoiding it, you don't see anything. and you make it back to town uneventfully after that.
Okay. Still about 8, or is it like closer to
Closer to 9.
Okay, as I'm driving, do I see the protester?
You do not.
Okay. If I head to the bar, do I recognize Capwell's vehicle?
You can make an awareness check to see if you can recognize his vehicle.
I'm gonna assume that's a no. That's a 8.
You're not sure. He drives pretty much the same vehicle as the rest of the miners do. You'd guess it's a company truck of some kind.
Okay. So I guess at that, then I'm gonna head back to my motel, and I want to take a listen to the recording.
Okay.
Basically, I just want to, with more detail, just listen to it.
So you're going to kind of scrub through it. What are you looking for?
Well, since I've never heard this before, I just want to hear it closer to detail and maybe try to do a web search about what this could be.
Okay. So you're going to try and search for like noises that you think sound similar.
Yeah.
I'll call it a creativity meta sciences roll.
It's funny that I have the meta science skill without actually believing any of it.
Yeah. Well, you got to know the stuff to bullshit the stuff.
That is a 10.
A 10. Yeah, I don't think you have enough experience to spend on this. Because you need 2.
I do have 2 on here, but I don't know if I want to waste them on
noise analysis.
Yeah.
All right. You're not quite sure what it is after sort of scrubbing through it and listening to different stuff on the internet. It's not any animal that you're picking up on any of your analyses.
Okay. What I'm thinking is my plan then is the next day I want to kind of show this recording. Maybe try the eco protester, see what she thinks of it, and maybe show it to the sheriff. I don't know if I'd get anything useful at all out of that.
I mean, you can show it to anybody.
So I think that's what I would want to do in the morning.
So you're going to go ahead and go to bed then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, after scrubbing and doing the internet searches, I'm sure it's
late.
You know, it's yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll find out if the eco activist knows anything next time.
Dun dun dun. As my character is off to get shut-eye, we wanted to thank you for joining us on the Daigen podcast. We are a new podcast, so we're learning as we go. Please consider giving us a follow and tune in next time while we find out what is going on in this town.